because there's someone standing next to you with a tear in their eye. You're a lucky man because, buddy, at the end of this road, if there's one person in the world you can say is your friend, that is for life.
I'm going to give you the only thing I got left. I'll give you my spot.
I want the big man. Do you accept it? My spot. I want Conan. Remember me how I look right now. I want Bagwell. It would be an honor. And I want Six. Woo! I'm taking the 4 Horsemen. Come on, 4-9. And I'm taking the NWO.
The most pathetic display of all.
And I'm putting them in.
And we are ready for war! Ladies and gentlemen, World Championship Wrestling, welcome to Fall Brawl! We welcome you to the large show, Veterans Memorial Coliseum in the Triad of North Carolina. We are in Winston-Salem, where they have been lining up for the last remaining tickets all day long to see their beloved 4 Horsemen battle in the most dangerous match in the history of professional wrestling. And on this one night, we are very proud to bring you War Games, part of Fall Brawl. Tony Schiavone, joined by me, Gino.
Welcome to September 14th, 1997, and it is Fall Brawl War Games. I'm Cab Manning, along with the usual Mr. Billy Botti.
Hello, Cab.
And a blast from the past, the guy who will be taking over the Monday Night Wars soon, Mr. Nick from New York.
And as my new duties of taking over the show, I'd like to announce that we will be canceling the Monday Night Wars.
Oh, like I said,
last episode.
We enjoyed watching this pay-per-view with our breakfast this morning.
Yeah, it was good.
I see. Like I said, I would continue watching all the WCW and pay-per-views because I didn't watch all of it. It's just a pain in the ass to do the fucking show. That's all. All right, so let's get into this Fall Brawl, into the first few matches here before we get to another clip for you. And the first match was Eddie versus Jericho, which is eventually that would be, a fucking headlining match. But this one's for the Cruiserweight title.
The one thing I got to say about this Jericho match and Jericho's old matches in WCW is it's really impressive that they were able to go back in time and edit the time-space continuum and add Jericho's WWE music
it is nonsense.
to the WCW.
I don't know what they're fucking doing.
I really think that's great.
Well, that's how they went back and gave Eddie Guerrero and Michael Hayes' music.
Yeah, that's good too.
Well, they should have warned Eddie to stop the fucking roids because you're going to have a heart attack in a few years.
Something's changed with Eddie. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something in his face that's changed.
A rigor mortis or decay? Oh, you mean then, not now. Okay.
Yeah, no, then. That
was the commentator's reasoning for his change in behavior. We picked it up in the commentary.
I figured out their 3-man booth. It's Mike Tenay is doing analysis, Tony Schiavone's doing play-by-play, and Bobby the Brain Heenan's doing I don't give a fuck.
Well, speaking of, here's the first clip of Bobby the Brain Heenan not knowing what wrestling moves are.
Each other very, very well. Now, reversal to the ropes on the right side. Eddie saw it coming. Lamahi Shrug Cradle got him up, but no, Jericho the other way.
Whoa, nice counter.
1, 2. Whoa. He got a 2 count and an arm drag, taking back down again. Simple strategy by Jericho, and it's worked so far in the opening moments of this Cruiserweight title bout.
That shows you how really good they are. Both these men are known for what? Their high aerial moves. I mean, they come off those top ropes to the floor. They'll cross body you. They'll Hudakanrani all day long. But they know how to wrestle. He's kept him on the mat. He's kept him where he has to keep him. He Hudakara'd him.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's done to him.
Close enough.
So close enough. Fuck it. He's got his money. What the hell does he care about calling a match?
I mean, God bless him.
Eddie Guerrero wins the Cruiserweight title, in which we found out later on that, in real life, Jericho was like, thank God I don't want this fucking Cruiserweight title. Nobody wanted the fucking thing because it, kind of stigmaed them, where they were stuck with it.
Yeah, we both like this match. We were kind of sitting there, and we were thinking, "Fucking hell, we have to watch this morning before we leave." But actually, this was good.
The Steiners.
Yeah, it's well. Just going back to what you said about Jericho kind of feeling pigeonholed there. You know, it's like what they're doing now with the 205 Live and divisioning up the different wrestlers. It's good on paper, but Jericho's right. You get stuck in these designated spots, but I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm kind of torn on the subject, but I guess we don't have to harp on it.
Well, like Bischoff said, Eddie would have never got to a main event. He says he's like, I'm not gonna bullshit you. It would have never happened. So they did get stuck. Steiners versus Harlem Heat. Steiners win this match. Any opinion? You guys have watched it freshly. I think you'd know more so.
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind while I was watching this match was, holy shit, Stevie Ray is a big dude. And Steiners are nuts, and they really lay it in.
Yeah, they... I can't wait for what's to come with Steiner. Being fucking insane. Being a real-life fucking character. So Steiners win this. Ultimate Dragon... Or Ultimo Dragon, as they first ever call him that.
Dragon,
first time they fucking call him that. Versus Billy's favorite, and mine, I must say, Mr. Alex Wright, Das Wunderkind, for the television title.
We noticed that they book Europeans as homosexuals. That's the first thing we noticed.
This is the Cesaro thing.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of Cesaros. He does the neutralizer at one point during the match, and he does the Cesaro arm raise.
The hand raise thing, the halfway up, right?
Yeah. I feel like Cesaro watched Alex Wright, and it was his hero growing up or something.
I wouldn't doubt it.
The German influencer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Alex Wright wins this.
He hits a neutralizer. He hits a neutralizer in the match. He doesn't put the hands through the legs, but, you know... He hits the face flapjack, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sad once he shaves his head and he becomes Berlin. That's gonna be very interesting to see. Here's your next clip.
Isn't me or did Alex Wright start the match off with an erection and then it slowly got smaller during the match?
You know, I'm proud to say I wouldn't have a fucking clue. I would have put that in my notes, believe me. But, yeah, I wasn't staring at his Das Wunderkind. So, next one we have for you is a clip with Mean Gene doing his hotline deal. And the NWO show up and walk through, and they attack somebody in the back. Have a listen.
WCW's Fall Brawl to Gene Okerlund. All right, Tony, I know you were going to get that out sooner or later. We're back in the locker room area. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the hotline, very important, a man that is absolutely seething. He's at the recent parody that, of course, was conducted by the NWO. Tonight, in exclusive, it's going to be Arn Anderson on the hotline. Gentlemen. They've got to be the rudest group of people that I have ever been around in my entire life. What the devil is going on back there? Anyway, tonight on the hotline, ladies and gentlemen, Arn Anderson with a very candid and in-depth conversation. Well, that's going to cut into my payroll. What just transpired in here? If our cameraman can come along. Excuse me. Excuse me. Curt Hening! Wait a minute! What the devil? Nash, Six, Conan, all of them here tonight. Those are the people. Curt Hening is down on the floor. Get some help for this man, please.
Can you believe this filthy NWO jumping Curt Hening in the back, and now they have an advantage, a 3 to 4 man? This is horrible.
They jumped in pretty quick, didn't they?
They were giggling like a bunch of little schoolgirls.
Yeah, I like Mean Gene doesn't know what's going on, and he opens the door and always gets that voice. Curt Hening, what's going on?
Oh my God, Curt Hening! We need help back here. Someone send help.
Yeah, that's. I love when Gene gets all fucking based out.
Do you think that? Here's a question. Do you think that there was anyone in the building who wasn't watching a monitor that was within earshot of Mean Gene for him to know that he needed help, or do you think that like just completely in kayfabe? Do you think it was anybody was didn't know what was going on?
Yeah, they're all doing their own jobs in the back, so they're not even paying attention to Mean Gene's segment.
Listen, nobody there can do their job, though. Earlier on, like, when we were watching the Harlem Heat.
Oh, yeah.
Nick noticed that the pyro that they probably spent like $5-10 on went off while they were on shooting a fan. Like, they were shooting Harlem Heat, and they shot the fan.
And the pyro goes off.
And then the pyro goes off, and you see the pyro reflect on the fan's face because it's like red. And then they go back to Harlem Heat. The camera guy's like, "Oh yeah, fuck, we missed the pyro."
Jesus.
It was just WCW, encapsulated in that second.
You know what's funny is we make fun of that, but it's almost like WWE does a lot of that kind of shit now. We spot a lot of them fuck ups now. Where it's like, ooh.
Well, that's because Kevin Dunn doesn't care anymore. He's drinking beer in his fucking.
Yeah. So just as a side note, we were at Raw last night, and we're walking into MSG, and we see Kevin Dunn standing out behind the arena, like talking to
John Laurinaitis.
But John Laurinaitis talking to a couple of I don't know who they were, a couple of guys, and the guy says something to Dunn. We can't really hear him, and Dunn goes, I got you. Don't worry about it. And he brings him over to the production truck, and he opens a cooler and hands him both the fucking Bud Light out of from behind his production truck. And then he
produces a show with a crate of Bud Light in his cabin. What's that called?
His production. His trailer.
Yeah, his trailer. Yeah.
But one thing that we said was, Billy looks at me and he goes, "This guy's a multi-millionaire. Why does he do this job? The product sucks. And how can he deal with McMahon?" I said, "This guy, he doesn't deal with McMahon. He sits in the production truck and does camera cuts. And the one thing you can't knock WWE for most of the time is their production quality."
Yeah, that's about the only thing they have that's fucking perfect all the time, that music. And so it's like, yeah, it's free money. I mean, fuck it. That's a cush job. You've been doing it. It's easy to do. Fuck it. Do it till he drop you out of the fucking place.
I think he wants an Emmy for live wrestling. I think that's his goal. But
well, nowadays I wouldn't doubt it because you see that stupid E Awards or like a TV show of the year. I'm like, how much did WWE have to pay them to get on that fucking list? Because give me a break. Like Raw would be the best show of the year.
They're trying to get us in the arena to vote for it. They're like, go to E.com right now. Vote for your favorite show of the year.
All right. Well, after
trying to get us to buy.
Go ahead.
They're also trying to get us to buy fucking house show tickets afterwards. I mean, who's going to do that after that SmackDown?
Raise your hand, Billy. The next match is Jeff Jarrett versus Dean Malenko. They had a little rivalry going on, and it's clean. Double J wins this.
Yeah.
Fucking clean. I give up. What the fuck?
To be honest, Billy and I kind of went into a coma during this match. We weren't really paying that much attention.
I'm with you.
He said if you phoned the hotline back in the day, like Double J was taking questions on the internet at the time. So if you were online at the time, he would have told you he was going to win like this.
Some half Asian guy was writing down asking him questions like, "Why don't you pay attention, boy? I'm giving you the answer."
Huh. Next thing that's going to happen here is we're going to get the NWO doing a promo in the back.
This is pretty terrible, to be honest.
And this is Curt got hurt? Oh, so sorry. Here you go.
No, I can't believe I'm flabbergasted. We go in for soda, and Curt Hening.
Kev. Really, it's not his fault, Kev.
Curt, for that, guess what? The four horsemen are finished, pal. Right? Hey.
Órale, Curt Hening. Somos locos. Somos pocos pero locos. You can't kick no dust. Tonight we're gonna take care of you in the four horsemen.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you're right. You know it. The thing is this, boys. If you think the NWO's going into War Games tonight without a plan,
you're wrong. We've got one, and it's a doozy. When you put the NWO together, it's always a plan, and the plan is we're gonna go out and end the four horsemen's careers tonight. It's
so what
over.
You're saying is that you guys basically want to go out tonight and eliminate and retire the four horsemen? Is that what you guys are saying?
Exactly it. You know what, Rick?
We want to put the four horsemen out of commission.
I hope everybody bought the six potions. Mongo, you got the K-Dog, Chris Benoit, Buff Bagwell, and you know what?
Curt Hening, tonight we're gonna take care of you. Arriba la raza!
Did we mention the Four Horsemen have finished that team yet?
You know, I think the Four Horsemen have finished it. So in other words, guys, you're with me in saying that you want to finish the Four Horsemen.
Kev?
It would be an honor!
So, you know what? The only good thing about this whole NWO thing, I think, with this little group is that it wasn't the main guys. Like, you got Conan involved and Bagwell and, and Six. So it's not...
Six-pack.
Yeah. So, it's like they're giving the other guys a rub who need it. Which is odd that you don't see, like, Hall as part of this, since they're...
Well, Hall was in the match, which was also pretty odd that they split up the tag teams.
We said this thing before. Like, how have they done this split? Because before that, Bagwell and Conan didn't even have the proper NWO music. So now they mix the Job Squad and the WCW together. The Job Squad and the other music together for this.
And I didn't think the promo was that great, to be honest. I couldn't really tell what they were saying. They were all talking over each other. I've seen better out of the NWO. I've seen worse out of the NWO, but this wasn't that great.
We get the Faces of Fear versus Mortis and Wrath, which is... It's interesting because they were pushing Faces of Fear, where it was like, oh, look, they need a legit tag team. But
yeah,
there's a Tongan Death Grip forever, and Vandenberg and Mortis... On Vandenberg and Mortis at the same time, Wrath then puts the other one in some shit, and it's like there's a lot of fucking nonsense going on here because they're bringing in
it's
the fucking...
It's a lot of filler. It's a lot of... It's just shit to fill time,
And Wrath and Mortis win this because we need another contender for the tag belts. It's next man up. Next, you get the Horsemen interview with Gene and no Curt Hening with the Horsemen.
A very somber mood, if you will. Four Horsemen are supposed to be here. Of course, joining us, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Steve Mongo McMichael, and, of course, the Crippler, Chris Benoit. No Curt Hening. I don't know the status, gentlemen, of his situation right now. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue on, but right now it does not look good, Chris.
Gene, it is truly going to be an honor to give the NWO a taste of reality. Conan, we all know you're the biggest wannabe happening. Six, you're but a number. Bagwell, well, we all know what the buff is about. And Nash, well, you've been so many different characters, we're not quite sure what you're about. But after tonight, you're going to know what the Horsemen are about.
Steve McMichael, I'm going to ask you, is it going to be the Four Horsemen tonight or not?
Listen, boys, you're in a cage now. You can run, but you can't hide. You run around playing those little games all you want, brother. But listen up, you idiots. Do you understand what Armageddon is? The Four Horsemen are bringing down the apocalypse on you tonight.
All right, Ric Flair, you've been here before. Many say the darkest time is just before dawn. That may be the case tonight here for War Games.
Gene Oakland, if I ever thought about quitting when my back was against the wall, I would not be here tonight. Henning is down. That's the price you pay for being a horseman. But somehow, I know if they can put Henning together, he'll walk that aisle. Woo, and he'll stand tall. In the meantime, Nash, and I'm talking to you, big man, right next to me, 5 times All-Pro, and in his leisure time, wears a Super Bowl ring. Also next to me, they call him the Crippler, pound for pound, the best wrestler alive today. And as you so fondly want to talk about in this tired old body is more heart, more desire, more soul, and more reality than the NWO will ever know. Woo! And in Winston-Salem, whether it's 3, 4, 2, 1, we will bleed, we will sweat, and you will pay the price for life. Woo!
All right, I think pretty much setting the table for tonight's big main event, Fall Brawl of the War Games. Will it be the Four Horsemen? We don't know. A lot of heart, Tony. Gentlemen, let's get back to you.
So they're getting ready for their match, and then we get Norton versus the Giant. Giant trying to show off, doing nip-ups and shit, holding the ropes, trying to help himself, but nonetheless, he's still a fucking 400-some pounder doing this shit. This is, when people say, oh, you know, Andre was the fucking best big man, all that bullshit, I'm like, nah, it has to be the fucking Giant and Big Show that was the best big man ever.
Well, I've seen some Andre stuff. I saw a match with him versus Inoki where he was doing
Where he was skinny.
arm drags and fucking he's doing he's doing some impressive shit. You know, Big Show always talked about how he was super athletic and could do anything up until he got that surgery on his pituitary gland. So this is pre-surgery, I believe.
You know, he tried out for the Detroit Lions back in the day. I remember that, and I was
He did, yes.
I was
Yes,
like,
he did.
fuck, how in the fuck did he not make that? I mean, just sheer strength, or going in on blocking kicks.
You know, they always talk about how big he is and all this shit and how impressive he is, but I was at the WrestleMania in Texas, Dallas, and Shaquille O'Neal has like 5 inches on
He
him,
does.
so.
He is bigger than him. Yeah, that is fucking interesting. Okay, Giant wins this. After this, we get Lex and DDP versus Macho Man and Scott Hall.
Lex Luger, the man with the most recognizable upper body in professional wrestling.
Did they say that?
Yeah, they said that. Yep.
Oh, fuck, I didn't write that down. Hall beats up the ref, so Larry goes to the ring. This is very fucking odd because it took too long. It would have been good if it was quicker because the crowd went fucking crazy when Larry showed up, and Luger is stuck between the two rings.
I took a shower in the middle of this match.
Oh,
Wait,
shit.
so Billy took a shower during this match.
Okay, so me and you, Nick,
And he
will go
comes
over
back
it.
and he goes back right for the finish. And he goes, wait, what's going on? Why is Zbyszko on the apron?
No, I saw Zbyszko get up because he was in. He was
okay.
Yeah, it was something else had happened. There's no refs. At the time when I come out of the shower, they were just all they were beating up. They were just beating them up with weapons or belts or something. Is that right? Luger was stuck in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, he was stuck in the middle of the ring, and all the refs were
yeah.
unconscious.
That was it.
Two refs were unconscious. But why is Zbyszko? The only conclusion I came to why Zbyszko had the authority to do that was because his shirt was striped.
Jesus Christ.
No, he didn't.
It wasn't a ref shirt. It just had stripes on it.
Well, let's work our way to it because he gets in there, all the refs are knocked out, and Luger's like slowly getting up from the middle of the ring where his Hall's back is turned to Luger, and Hall is challenging Zbyszko to come in, which it took forever. If it was quick, I don't think this would have been a problem. He's challenging him forever. And finally, Zbyszko comes in, and it's funny because Hall does a good job up until he gets pushed. And then it's, that whole wrestler, throw your hands up in the air, I can't catch my balance, falls back, and then Larry Zbyszko makes the 3 count. And they fucking win the match. I'm like, how is this even
it was
count?
bizarre.
Makes no sense.
I didn't understand that at all. I asked Billy, I go, is Zbyszko, or is he an official on the committee? Why does he have the authority? Billy's like, I don't know. Zbyszko did a fast count, and for some reason he's got authority. I have no idea. So didn't make sense to me.
So after this, they do a Halloween Havoc promo that's coming up next, and then it is the main event.
Wait, one thing I noticed about the Halloween Havoc promo, they do the Halloween Havoc promo with the guy who just lost the screw job finish to Larry Zbyszko and Clan as the main attraction for the. Don't you think they could have picked somebody else or maybe put it at the match?
Well, it's Slim Jim, isn't it?
Yeah, Slim Jim's, and NWO doesn't actually work for WCW, so why are they using them?
That's true.
It just didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Like, Elizabeth is Elizabeth at her peak in this in this era.
She has to be. I think she had implants at the time, too. I think she got
she's looking pretty
new tits, everything. Yeah, she does look in good shape. I mean, her face never changed, but I think her body got... I mean, she's just being able to wear stuff that shows off, too. Before it was fucking prom dresses.
Evening gowns.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, she distracted the $1 Million Team by wearing a fucking bikini bottom. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, old granny panties and fucking nylons. Oh, fuck, I can't concentrate. Shit.
That was weird because like Ted DiBiase like couldn't control himself.
No.
But with all that money, like imagine how many holes he actually had.
I know, and he was
Like,
banging
off the shot.
broads on the road too, but he couldn't handle seeing Elizabeth in fucking swimsuit with a full top on.
Well, Elizabeth was such a beautiful woman. I mean, who could control themselves?
I know. Well, we're all animals here. So this main event happens, and it's the old War Games deal where it's, of course, the coin flip happens after the two guys get in the ring and the bad guys win. And so then it's another 2 minutes.
Can I just ask you a question? Does this match make any fucking sense?
No, because it can't finish until
just the
everyone's
concept.
in. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And what is the difference between a submission and a surrender?
I don't think there is. I think it's all the same. Well, yeah, I mean, you would think submit means you have to be in a fucking hold, and surrender, you could just be walking around and go, that's it. I'm down. I'm done.
Right.
You know, I guess that's the best we can fucking call, but...
Well, we'll get to the surrender question in a second. Billy brought up a good point, but we'll get into why that point's a good question in a second.
So, we have... Curt Hening finally shows up at the end after it's everyone in the ring. So the last one, and everyone gets fired up because he's in a sling, and he's like, fuck it, I'm getting in anyway last. And they're all in.
He's here to save WCW. He's here to save WCW.
And he gets in the fucking ring with handcuffs, and they're like, oh, yeah. And then this is what happens.
What? Oh, no.
He's not hurt at all. He's not hurt at all.
And he's gone right for
My
Rick
God,
Flair.
what's he doing?
You know what he's doing, Tony?
It's another.
You know exactly what he's doing.
No. We all fell for it. Every one of us.
There's nothing wrong with his arm or shoulder. And they're handcuffing the Horsemen to the cage.
We have been in the midst of the biggest charade, the biggest game of them all. Benoit and Conan has the cuffs on Benoit.
And they're handcuffing him to the top of the cage. And Hening has just gone after Flair.
Mongo is handcuffed to the top of the cage.
Where's Benoit?
Benoit has been handcuffed to the top of the cage.
And they're going to systematically take Flair apart.
Oh, my God.
In his backyard. This is
and there's nothing we can do.
This is deliberate. This is deliberate. This is premeditated.
The cage is locked. And not only that, I mean, you know how the cage comes up and we got...
Oh,
I mean,
pull them right over.
It would pull
their arms right out of their body.
Pull the arms right out. Oh, my God. Oh, man, I can't. It's my job to watch this, but I can't. It's my job to bring you what's happening, but this is making me sick down to my stomach. He stood in the ring. He shook the hand of Arn Anderson.
Look at this.
All right, boys. Let's hear it. You surrender?
Yeah. Benoit's not surrendering. But he is helpless.
How about you, football boy? You surrender?
No! Mongo's not surrendering. But what can they do? What in God's name can they do?
Woo! How about you, Nature Boy? How about you, Nature Boy?
It's 4 against 1.
Flair is helpless. This is...
To a man who 13 times held the championship of the world.
I know you want to say it. Say it, chump.
He's not... No!
Yeah, but he's got 1 hand. They got 8.
You've got to give... Benoit has so much courage, so much fight, so much... Oh!
He's going to chew his way out of it.
Say it.
It's apparent. It is apparent the NWO.
Say it, baby.
The Horsemen still say no. Darn it. And I'm going to be honest with you.
You got one more chance, big man. Say it.
I know they're men, but I almost want to say yes.
Say it.
Get this over with.
Bite me.
Yeah.
I'd say it and then have another day.
Say it, Flair. Say it. Say you quit. Say it.
Flair is injured. They're gonna take him out, throw him in the front row. What else can?
They'll probably drag him out back.
This is a horrible scene. This is a horrible scene. Man, I'm sorry.
All right, boys. Either you surrender, or Old Nature Boy here gets a guillotine. What do you gotta say? You gotta stop this. You can't do that. Hey, guys.
Yep.
They said stop it.
Mongo said stop it.
They said stop it.
All right, he said stop it. Yeah.
All
right.
The main thing to do.
That's right. That's right. Before Flair gets nailed, before he gets his head shut here, before no God. Oh God. Oh God. That was no good. Low life. They slammed his head in. Oh God. Oh, I'm sick. I'm sick. And
How you feel now, stupid?
maybe I don't want to say that a career has come to an end.
Death of the Horsemen right in their own backyard.
That's what's oh God, that's what's happened.
We've already told you. Who's the wannabe? Who's the idiot?
The Horsemen have fallen prey. WCW has fallen prey to the biggest game, the biggest one ever. The most sickening night that I have ever spent as a broadcaster. I have spent here tonight. We've got to get out. We've got to get out. Good night.
So that is the end of how everything goes down. They finally surrender because they handcuff all the good guys to the ropes, or to their cage, actually, over their head. Benoit, I think, did the best job, actually, of like fighting his way and trying to like rip the fucking chain off. And I'm always like, what happens if it did break? That'd be great. But they kept asking him, and I would think
then he would choke them all out after giving them Xanax pills.
There you go. That'll do it too. That'll easily. But then they can't surrender. So I think this is like almost the one time they should have given permission to like curse, where they keep asking them, "Do you give up? Give up?" It should be like "fuck you" eventually. You know, that should be the scream.
Well, here's the point I was alluding to earlier that Billy brought up during the match. Why did Curt just get in the ring and surrender?
You know what? Didn't think of that. That is perfect. He could have fucking ended up being the one who says, "I quit." After they're trying to get them all to quit, he could just say, "I quit." Yeah.
And then just celebrate with the NWO.
It's 100% fucking correct. That is fucking the best. I love that. So I remember when this happened, and it was like burned in my memory because it was so fucking brutal when they slammed the cage on his head, and I'm trying to find where it stops, where's the secret, and I don't think there is. I think he just takes it.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
It's fucking brutal. I'm like, he slams that fucking door good. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And as I found out in later years, this was because he was going to get a facelift, and this was to get him off the TV.
Right.
So I'm dying to see when he comes back if he has that surprise Kenny Rogers look.
See, I thought that's like his daughter.
Yeah, no shit.
And she's had facelifts now, right?
I don't know. I think she just had Botox and now the mole. That
She
kind
seems
of
to get
thing.
better every week.
Oh, you're out of your fucking mind. I looked at her today. I was like, "Excuse me, sir." Jesus Christ. So that is your fall brawl for the week. And Anything to add to this? You guys enjoyed the pay-per-view?
It was better than SmackDown was tonight.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll all look forward to your reviews of this show. Well, that is your back to the Monday Night War Fall Brawl War Games for 1997. For Billy, for Nick, and for Cav, thanks for listening to Back to the Wars, and never again. We hope you've enjoyed the wars all this time, but we're out of time!